Hello, everyone. We are here at Peak Beauty Academy. We're going to talk to some students, talk to some alumni, talk to one of the owners, and just learn what it's all about.
Let's go check it out. Hey everyone, here we are at Peak Beauty Academy and we're speaking with the owner, Danielle Cherewyk.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you.
Thanks. So we can start with you just telling us a bit about yourself.
Sure. Oh, where to start?
I know it's such an awful question, but
like, what is the Cliff Note version? Well, I'm a second generation stylist. So I've been in the industry for all my life since the womb. And it's an industry that I love. I live here in Grande Prairie with my family. I've got two boys and my husband and a dog. And we have the Headroom Salon Companies. We have two salon companies. And then me and my two partners recently became the owners of Peak Beauty 2 years ago. So it's been a fun journey. It's kind of my professional journey. I do coaching for salon owners a little bit and still a little bit behind the chair. So wow. I like to stay busy and I like to travel.
If you could open a salon anywhere in the world, where would you want to open one?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. You know, I probably would say BC because I feel like I would love to retire there. So I feel like that would be a good place. But I like going to a different place all the time. So I like having the salons here. Grande Prairie is a great community. And then, you know, I can go and travel for a bit and then come home and it's like a great community. But I guess if we were going to go expand somewhere else, probably Okanagan.
Beautiful British Columbia, excellent choice.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you kind of grew up in the industry here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say your passion for it then developed ever since you can remember? Or what was your catalyst, I guess, for pursuing it full time?
Yeah. I mean, the salon industry is so fun. It's trendy. It's cool. The people are nice. I think that there's always a part of that I loved hanging out in the salon as a kid. And then as I got older, I actually didn't want to go into hair. I wanted to go into business. And I thought, oh, a salon would be such a cool business to own. And I was more interested in aesthetics and massage, but I thought, well, I'll learn hair too, because if I'm going to run a business, I should know, a little bit about some of those things. And then I actually ended up really loving hair. I took some aesthetics, which I didn't like. I think, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I really liked hair though, and started working for Redken, a salon company, and they're a hair care brand, and I started educating for them and got to travel and educate, and that kind of led me down into education. And I opened my first salon when I was 22, so I kind of got right into it, and I'm still behind the chair a little bit. So I love both sides of it. I love the business and I love doing hair.
So initially thinking that aesthetics and massage was more your thing, what was the transition like, I guess, from thinking something wasn't going to be anything and something that you were really passionate about to then kind of like topsy-turvying, switching?
Well, I started with hair actually. So I hadn't switched. I thought, well, I'll get hair and then I'll move into that first.
Oh,
I got
okay,
accepted
gotcha.
into the hair program. And then I thought I'd add on and build it up. And it was just like a very natural evolution. I don't think there was any part where I was like, I'm not going to do that or I'm going to make that change. It just happened very naturally where I was doing hair, I was building up my clientele and working a bit. And that just, the thought of pursuing the aesthetics further, I took some nails, a few other things, but to pursue the rest of stuff just didn't interest me so much.
So you've kind of come at this, I guess, from all angles, being like the business side as well as like behind the chair. Which part of it would you say is your favorite?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think in both, it's not so much doing the business activities or doing, hairstyling, the art of hair. It's about the reactions with people. And so when you do hair and people light up, like they feel like they're expressing themselves and that they're, living their best life, that's the best part. But in business, that happens too. Like as I mentor stylists and students and salon owners, that also comes to life. And so it's the same in both, I think. And I feel like I really love the business stuff. I love the systems and can work through stuff and try and make it very simple for people. So that comes fairly, I would say, with a lot of work, but it feels natural and it always intrigues me. And so I've just continued to look into that. But in both cases, it's that the people connections that I like the most.
So that aspect with people can be found in a whole bunch of different ways. And part of that is the education portion. What was the inspiration for like gaining that ownership of Peak Beauty Academy?
Oh, well, we've always had an education system within our company, and we've always loved to hire up and coming stylists. I think that they just have such a positive outlook. They're so excited and eager. And then also we're in a small community. So to hire licensed stylists, the option is to find somebody relocating, which happens. We've invited a lot of people on our team that way. But to grow our company, we can either poach, which I think I'm not interested in it, or we can grow our own. And so that relationship with the school just naturally evolved because we were always hiring their students. And when the owner wanted to step away, she approached us and it became very natural. Opening a school is actually really hard. And there's a pause. You can't open a hair school right now or get an accredited school. And so purchasing one was a really great way entry in. And she opened that door for us because we were just hiring a lot of their students already. So it was also just like a very natural flow for our company. And I think a lot of people think that we purchased it because like as a feeder, which it is, but it always was. So that wasn't so much the gain for us. The gain is now being able to bring our senior stylists in to teach. And so now we have that full cycle of career growth. So when we have stylists that maybe want to step back or who can't work behind the chair as much, or maybe they get injured, they can come and teach and share their skills. And so that was a really cool thing to continue to grow the career path in our salon company.
What does the programming, I guess, look like at Peak?
So our longest program is the hair program. It's 1,400 hours. So 1,100 of those hours is really decided by the Alberta Apprenticeship Board. And so they tell us, that we need to have a certain amount of sanitation and haircutting and coloring. And then we get a little bit of hours that we can mix up. And so the way that it works in our program is we have a level A, which is mostly theory and some mannequin work. Level B, where they start doing a lot more hands-on, a lot of mannequin work. They're starting to get into advanced theories. And then level C, where they're mostly doing client work. And so we have a student salon where our students can actually take clients, and it's in a safe environment. The teachers are here, they can help them out. We really try and partner with clients who are patient with them and who want to nurture that learning path and get a great style. And so that's the hair program. And then if they take the full cosmetology, they do another it's 12 weeks of aesthetics programming on top of that.
What advice would you have for an individual maybe who's interested in this career but unsure of like whether or not to pursue it?
Good question. I think it's just be curious. Go and ask a salon if you can shadow for the day, or go and hang out, get your hair done, go and experience it. Do a try it day. I think lots of people it's like, what can I research? What can I do online? And it's like, go and try and experience it a little bit and see, get your foot in, and just ask a lot of questions, interview some stylists. I think that's the best way to kind of get started and see where you fit. Certainly we're always open and welcome to answer questions or interview or invite them into the salon so they can actually experience the salon before they come and just experience the school, because what will that look like after?
What would you say is the most important skill, and I know there are many, that you want students to walk away with?
They need to be confident. They need to be confident in their skill, confident to do what they know how to do, but also know when to ask for help if they need it. because when they're finished school, they still have 2,800 hours of an apprenticeship. And so I think sometimes there's the expectation is like, you went to school, you should know what you're doing. And I think sometimes salon owners expect that, or clients as well expect that out of them. And so they have this hairstylists, like, we're natural people pleasers. We like to make people feel good. It's what our industry is all about. And so it's very common for us to be like, yeah, sure, we can do that, but maybe being a little bit nervous inside. So they need to have confidence to also say when they're not confident, or they need some help in the skill, or, you know, they're a little bit unsure. So I think confidence is one of the biggest things.
How would you say your confidence has developed from when you first started to now owning like a business and running the school and being involved in so much of this industry in this world?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is, like, before I used to think it was really about mastering the skills that would build my confidence. And now I know that it's actually knowing when I don't have the skills, that I can ask somebody for help or have somebody else take on the task. Like, I'm not in here teaching all of the things and doing all of the things. It takes a full community, and we all have different strengths and weaknesses. And so I think the confidence is knowing where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are, and very easily being able to pull somebody in who's better than me at some things. And it makes us stronger as a team. And it also makes me feel more confident to go and, you know, focus on my specialties and grow on those.
With your specialties and everything that it is you have to deal with, and I guess do in a day, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of it all?
I think with ownership of any company, dealing with like the firefighting or the unexpected, it's like you just don't know. And especially when you're tight for time, because it's like I like really believe like, okay, I can get all of this stuff, I can do all these things if I plan it all out, and I'll like have my plan, and then, you know, life will be like, nope, actually this is what you're going to deal with today. And it might be an upset with one of our team members or a client, or our POS machine went down recently. So it's like we have no debit and credit, and it's like some tech things. And now, okay, the rest of the day is spent dealing with that. And now also all the other work needs to get done. So I think when things like that happen, that's probably one of the most challenging, whatever it may be, but just like those surprises.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of the work that you do?
I think like circling back on what I shared about my favorite part is like actually making people feel good, helping stylists, and you know, we have more than just stylists. We have a lot of support team as well, helping them grow and live their best lives is for sure. It's like super rewarding to see when somebody's like feeling great, or they achieve a goal, or you know, they look in the mirror and they're just smiling, and just because they feel confident in, you know, their personal style is expressed through their hair or through their makeup or whatever it is, that's always the best part.
Why do you think it's important to have a space like this in Grande Prairie?
Grande Prairie, it's pretty far from any other center. Like, we're 4.5 hours from Edmonton. That would be the next closest place. And so for one, Grande Prairie is a great community to live in and grow your career. And we have great clients that need to be taken care of. And so there's a lot of opportunity here. And to leave for the entire schooling time to go to the city to get this kind of education, I think is really difficult. It also is very expensive. And you know, speaking on the student salon and different things like that, if they go to a city and they don't know anyone, sometimes that can hinder, you know, the clientele that they're seeing. They're not having their friends and family come and support them, which really sets them up to build their clientele and career going into the salon. So I think having something that's local is really important, you know, where there's different connections for them. They know people, or maybe it's not quite as far. Like, we service all the way to Peace River, Grand Cache. So they're not having to travel quite as far. It still is, I think, a big help for anybody entering the industry. And I think a lot of times we have like entry level right from high school, but also we have a lot of people who want to come into our industry later in life, and they might have families already. And so uprooting their whole entire family to go to school for 9 months is really difficult. So I think just geography makes it a really great place to have it here. And then on the other side of that, our students really serve the community through their services. So having your hair done in or any service in the school is substantially cheaper than going into a salon. Obviously, we're partnering with the students as a part of their learning. There's very minimal costs. Like our haircuts range from $10 to $25. And so we also serve a really big clientele here that maybe couldn't go to a salon and have those personal services otherwise. So I think both of those are really important in our community.
As well, I wanted to ask, it doesn't have to be specific to the salon or anything, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
The best piece of advice. I've had so many mentors that have given me so much. I couldn't possibly choose one little thing, but I think that just always pushing to be uncomfortable in order to grow, in really mentoring me in dealing with adversity and growing through it, and just having a lot of gratitude in the moment, I think has been one of the most powerful things is just like a gratitude practices. I think that will change your life.
Oh yeah, that's
and
so
it has
important.
changed mine.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, here we are still at Peak Beauty Academy. We're speaking with one of the students, Jane Delzell. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Awesome, I'm great. So we can start with you just telling us a bit about yourself.
For sure. So I grew up in the area in the Peace Country. Was always outside with my family and played lots of sports in high school. And then I got my first job at a salon when I was 14. So in high school, I did my hair apprenticeship, and then I went off to university and took business management. And now I'm back, and I finally decided to enroll in hair school. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it that first job when you were 14 at a salon that got you into hair, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what like started the passion. Like being around the environment every day, I was like, this is what I want to do every day.
Aww.
So fun.
That's awesome. And so coming to Peak, how did that, you went from business management to that, right?
Yeah, I was like finishing exams, and I'm talking to my family, calling my cousin, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do university anymore. Like I'm done with this. Like, and they're all like, just go do hair finally. Just do it. And then I applied, and the rest is history. I'm here.
How has that experience been, or been so far? Because you still have a bit to go, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm done in October, so about halfway through, and it's been great. Honestly, like any questions I've had about the industry, they've been answered before I've had to ask them. The path has been so clear, and I feel like they're really preparing me for my future. So,
sorry, I'm not super familiar with all the programs, but we just talked to Christina, and she did the blended one.
oh,
But
yes.
are you just doing hair?
Yeah, I'm just in the hairstyling.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are your classes like in hairstyling?
Yeah, so we have like an advanced cutting class, coloring, color theory. We learn perm application, basically anything like processing. And then Danielle all the time will have like different people come in and teach us other random classes that have been super helpful. A few weeks ago, she had us cutting blindfolded.
What was that experience like? Like, how do you, I guess, have that sense of awareness when you aren't seeing?
So we had like one of our fellow students kind of guiding us and helping us do it so that you wouldn't like cut your hand off. But it was pretty good. It really helped us become like self-aware of what we are doing, like actually feeling the hair, and it kind of like put all your other senses into play other than just seeing. So yeah, that was a really good idea that she had, and there's many classes like that that really just like push yourself.
Yeah. Where do you hope to see yourself in like the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I hope to have a steady clientele, doing lots of those big transformations, just like being surrounded by beautiful people that like love being there as much as I do. Mm-hmm.
How do you think Peak has helped set you up to achieve those goals?
I think just like coming into school every day and being in this environment, it's like pretty similar to a salon, and well, it is a salon, really, I guess. But just like having those interactions with actual clients coming in and taking all the different business classes and them pushing us out of our comfort zones, it just really gives you that clear, like, okay, yeah. And Danielle said this the other day, you can have my words till you find your own. I thought that was very,
that's
very
so
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, right? It's like, okay, thank you.
That's so nice. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like, wow,
It
that's
was
so
very
comforting.
nice. Right? It is
Yeah.
comforting. It's like a little pillow, just like, it's okay.
Yeah, like a mama bird, like watching over all the like
Yeah.
little ducklings or whatever. Of like, oh, that's very sweet. I love that.
Mhm.
Last question. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be specific to styling or peak or anything, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
I would say everybody has their own path, and don't compare your journey to anyone else's, because everyone's going to be unique. You do stuff.
That's great advice.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Here we are at Peak Beauty Academy, and we're talking with one of the alumni, Christina 80. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thank you. So we can start with you just telling us a bit about yourself.
So my name is Christina. I have been at the Headroom now for about a year, and I did my Peak Beauty Academy education in September of 2024.
And what inspired you to come to Peak Beauty Academy?
So I've heard some really great things from some past schoolmates who I knew, as well as I came in for a tour, and they actually were really, really nice here, and it was just such a great atmosphere that I knew this was the place for me.
And so you're working at the Headroom now, you said?
Yes, yeah, at the north one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you graduated in 2024?
Yeah, it would have been of August 2024. Yeah.
So you've been working about a year now in your
Yes,
field, I guess?
I've been, about a year now.
And do you specialize in like hair or makeup?
So actually I did the blended program. So I do hair as well as I'm on their bridal team doing makeup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite like thing to do, I guess?
I really enjoy all things color. So from like root touch-ups, blondings, solid colors, vivids I've been starting to do, and it's been really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Vivid, like, I guess vivid colors?
Yeah, like I did it was like a bright red with like black contrast, and that was super
Ooh.
gorgeous. Some halos and things like that. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations. I love
Thank
that for
you.
you. So when you were studying at Peak, what was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. I honestly, my attendance was amazing because it was so fun to be here. I never wanted to leave. The teachers were super amazing. I learned so much from Rhonda as well as Maggie and Amber. And all the students were just so amazing. Like, it was just such a great atmosphere that I loved every moment being here. I miss it, honestly. Yeah, it was so great.
And how long was your program?
So I did the blended, so it was 11 months, because then we did a bunch of aesthetics as well. I'm certified nails, brows, makeup, facials, I believe like waxing, so like all sorts of things.
Wow.
Yeah, and then hair, of course.
A pretty intensive program, I'm guessing, for
yeah,
11
it was.
months.
Yeah, it was. The aesthetics portion was fast paced, but I got all my theory done and like all my practicals. It was great, actually. It was
And
really
it's
nice.
probably really nice too, I imagine, getting to get it over with, because I know school can kind of be a drag
Oh,
sometimes. So it's, like,
100%. Yeah.
getting to like do it and get out and actually get working.
Yes,
is
it
probably
was.
great.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was really great. I have heard people where they like go for a couple of years, and the thought of that versus 11 months, being able to be like, I'm done, and then I'm working, and it's great, right? So I'm enjoying it.
And having that aspect too of hands-on experience, right? Because I'm assuming your
Yes.
training was
Yeah.
pretty hands-on.
Yes, it was a lot of mannequin work. We have so many amazing people who come in and help us and let us learn. The best way to learn is obviously on people. So it's been really nice in that aspect. And then, yeah, now getting 2 hands-on at the Headroom is super amazing.
What would you say was the most important skill that you developed while studying here?
It would be my people skills. Learning to work with all sorts of different people and like being able to create that conversation and knowing when to talk, when not to talk, and then just being your bubbly self, I guess, would be my best experience here.
And how was that learning experience, I guess, like for you?
It was hard. I was very, very shy growing up. So getting to break out of my shell and now being able to like meet new people and be so confident doing it has just been such an improvement for myself. And I'm just really proud of myself for it. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
You should be
thank
proud of
you,
yourself.
right?
How would you say that Peak kind of developed your skills in a way that worked for you?
Yeah, that they helped me develop my skills in order to be successful behind the chair by myself. Obviously, now working through my apprenticeship, it's a lot more on me than having that teacher support. So they're really amazing at providing me both with their help as well as kind of pushing me to be by myself. And that's really helped me excel and not always needing that extra little bit of help when I'm doing like my clients now.
What advice would you have for individuals wanting to get into this field?
Just do it. It is so amazing. It is so rewarding. I like when you get those clients and you do the huge transformations and you hear the I'm so happy, this like, you know, I feel like myself again, like just all that like positive feedback just makes me feel so amazing. And knowing that I did that for them and I've helped them and I've made them feel beautiful, feel like themselves, whatever the case may be, has just been so rewarding. And I just love that aspect of it.
Where do you hope to see yourself in like 5 years?
I hope that I am still in the career and succeeding at the headroom. Right now I'm working through their apprenticeship program, so I'm hoping within those years I'll be a licensed stylist, building my clientele and building my career. And I would love to see myself doing a lot more makeup, hopefully, and kind of building that sort of aspect. I feel like it's kind of a bit on the back burner for me right now, and I really want to get that displayed and get that out there.
I believe it. I
Thanks.
look forward to seeing you succeed in that,
Oh,
I think.
thank you.
Of course. Last question. It doesn't have to be specific to Peak or anything like that, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
I would say probably getting told to just do it and to do what makes me happy, because I wasn't really sure about hair at first and I was kind of heading towards maybe a different direction in my life. And I got told to just do what makes me happy and you only get one life. And I decided, no, I'm going to do it. And so I did it. And I am so glad I did, because this is exactly where I need to be. So yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for chatting with us.
Of course.
Peak Beauty was so fun. All the girls were so nice and so passionate about the work that they do. I have mad respect for estheticians, is that the correct way of saying it? Like hairstyling, makeup, things I am not at all skilled in. So mad respect for people who could do it so well and make it look so easy, because it's not easy.
Yeah, the students were amazing. The space was also gorgeous.
Such a pretty space.
Very like classy. Like if that was my school, I'd also want to show up every single day. Like it was so pretty. Everyone was very kind, very nice, and like also very skilled. So
Yeah, and what a great, I think, opportunity of a place to have in Grande Prairie, because obviously we're not from there, so we don't know all the ins and outs and stuff, but I think it was Danielle that was speaking about how nice it was for people not to have to like leave to go to school and then try and come back and get a job. It's really like pathway, you know, like you do the school and work at the salon and like you create that community from like the very beginning, which is amazing and wonderful, and that's what we need. So check it out.